Good evening, everybody. For anybody who's never met me before, my name is Ernestine Day, and I am the Soulful Guitarist. I channel energy from source through my guitar without using words. If you're familiar with light language, that is what I do. And to add on to that, I also use a looper. And so that's what you're going to experience is me using my looper now. I started that 5 years ago and it cracked me open to parts of me I never knew was inside me. And also, it's been very instrumental in me under and understanding me more at a greater level that I've never had before. There's all these many, multiple layers to this. So, uh, by the way, I'm also in the middle right at this particular time. This has been going on for 6 months. Uh, where I live, the resident caretaker who's been here for 25 years has been abusing the elderly for 25 years and gotten away with it. And then 4.5 years ago, I moved here, just living my own life, doing my own thing, handing in letters, just staying in my own energy, shall we say. And then 6 months ago, that journey shifted and changed. And so here I am 6 months later. If you would like to hear that story, and it's going to be not just, I could say, one chapter. This will be multiple chapters of this. I just published it publicly on Tuesday night. I'm on the west coast of Canada, and that yeah, and we've already have. I checked today for whatever reason, and we have over 50,000 views through the multiple groups I've sent this out to. Yeah, and that's just the start. And those people are sharing it out, and that's how it works. And so right now I'm working on chapter 2. It's not the details. It's just if you read the one from that I did Thursday night, that's how it's going to be told. That's how it's going to be told. And the amount of support we've gotten, the amount of admiration for me and what I'm doing, and for the so it's when I say that I'm not stopping there because if I couldn't do this without the residents, first of all, I couldn't do it without them. And yeah, I'll just say this that on January the 6th, I put out a notice to all the residents here where I live that I'm holding a resident meeting off site. Our abuser freaked out, right? And the reason I'm able to tell you this, what I'm telling you now, is because everything I've gone through RTB hearings and everything else, I start to see how everything. He just exposed himself more. So what I'm telling you is the results of this whole thing. So what he did is he created an email to send to the president, Tom Latter. And he said something about these, I've had all these calls from these residents and they're all shaken up. And he gave them a list of and the total was about 15 residents trying to imply that he's gotten all these calls with people upset because, Ernestine is having a resident meeting, right? So he started creating the story. And then at the RTB hearing, he had there was 2 residents that were in my building. Like this is a very unique complex. I'm going to try to describe it. There is 12 buildings on this property with 3 to 5 acres, something like that. Each building, there's 4 suites. There's 4 in front, 4 in back. So there's 8 suites per building. It's really incredible. Like I said, it's spread over, 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 acres. But anyway, sorry, just give me a sec. I'll come back as soon as I start talking. I sort of lost that trail, shall I say. Oh yeah. So what he created now is there's 2 ladies that he did instantly where they've been asking to go to the front forever. Couldn't get to the front. So he turned around and moved them to the front. And then one of the ladies, which I know, and I've talked to her, I have a good relationship with her. She's got my phone number, I've got hers. She was the only person that ever had my phone number here. And so she, when Doug called her and all this, and she goes, yeah, and then she went in to sign the documents. And Doug says, will you sign this letter saying the reason you're moving is because of Ernestine? And she goes, no, absolutely no. So what he does, he turns around and he forges her signature. So he took her signature from some other place and put it on that somehow. And then the other lady I've never talked to. But I have no doubt that's what he did there. No doubt. And also, he had created this list. Oh, just give me a sec here. I just need to be clear here as I go to speak. Give me a sec. Sorry. So I need to move from whatever that energy is. So he forged 2 resident signatures here to create a story saying how dangerous I am. Right? And he also was telling a lady from an organization, and I hope to God she hears this. Okay. And when I say this, I'm not mad with her. She just got caught up in something she didn't know. He talked to this businesswoman that comes here quite often because she has clients here. And he created this story, whatever it was, he told her. And then she turned around, wrote a letter back and said, oh, that person should be in jail for at least 2 years. Like, you wouldn't believe. And I go, holy shit. All stories he created. And then when got home from the resident meeting that day, by the way, after the meeting, we had the meeting on January the 16th, get home, and there's 2 of us residents had this, and there was this letter stuck to our doors, which Tom Latter, the president, wrote. It was an intimidation tactic, bullying tactic. So I addressed that accordingly, because the one thing he did not do, he never spoke about the RTB. That told me right there he knows nothing about how to do his job under the RTB Act, because it's right there. So I knew that. And then I responded. And about 5-7 days later, I get an eviction notice, plus this other resident. We both got an eviction notice. We went through both of those. I stopped. Of course, we appealed, and we won. I won, because I'm the one that's been advocating. I stopped both evictions. Then 4 of us residents took him to our TB because we're not getting any help to stop this elder abuse by the president of the society. So this guy is protecting Doug. I've been handing in letters since I moved in here. So that'd be, I moved in here end of February of 2022. And when I say right away, I'm talking like a couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever. And in August of 2022, I handed in a letter complaint about Doug and his bullying tactics and everything else, and how he retaliated against me by trying to tow my car. I was getting no response. Now I've heard the rumors here about how Doug and Tom are best buddies. I don't believe everything I hear, but I hear what I hear, right? But I'll figure out for myself. And so I waited, no response. So in October, they have here once a month, it's called spaghetti night. The Lions Club have a spaghetti night. And so I went there that night with a letter in hand, that same letter, and plus a cover letter for this one, and went in there in hopes to find a board member. And when I went in there, and I said to the gentleman, I said, "I'm looking for a board member." He goes, "I'm the president." I said, "You are?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, and he said, "I'm Tom Latter." I said, "Hi, I'm Ernestine." And Doug was out there squirming. You could see him. I could feel his energy. He was and that. And so I handed the letter, and he goes, "What is this about?" I said, "It's in the letter. This is not the time or place to talk about it. Give me a call." That was October of 2022. And I still haven't got a response. So all these letters that us residents ever been put in, who thought that it was Doug that was thrown in the garbage, it was Doug and Tom that were not getting our letters to all the board members. Even in some of my letters, I said to the entire board of directors. In other words, not a limited amount, but the entire board. So, I was very careful with my wording at that time. Still no response. So that's why we took them to the RTB. So, and there's multiple layers that we can't get things done in here, like repairs done in a timely manner, to not at all. One lady, she has been asking for 4 years, yes, 4 years, to have her awning replaced because it's ripped right down the middle. Just Doug put her off, ignored her. She put in letters between Doug and Tom, never got anywheres. Then I came along at the resident meeting, educating the residents about the RTB Act and how it works. So we filed with them against the violations of the RTB Act. We ended up with, we would have had 4 court orders for repairs, but one got repaired just before the hearing, so that didn't become a court order. But we had 3 court orders, and it took that lady 4 years and a court order to put a friggin' awning up. To put an awning up. Good God. That gives you an idea what we've been dealing with. He yells at us, he screams at us, he bullies us. The list is incredible. And through the RTB hearings, we found out there is absolutely nothing in the RTB Act, nothing, that deals with abuse cut from a landlord to a tenant. But if a tenant did that to a landlord, we're gone like that. Like a double standard. No, the landlords are good. We'll protect them. Tenants are just as bad as a landlord. Tenants are just as good as a landlord. This is not about one, all that crazy excuses. So I discovered that. And I said, where are we to go? They referred us to the RCMP, human rights, and elder abuse. No matter where you go, and I'm not going to go down that path, sorry. My apologies, bring that back. So, um, our third RTB hearing was on April 15th. April the 20th, I think it was, a couple days later, I called the RCMP and made an official elder abuse report against Doug Granger and Tom Ladder, the enabler. Yeah. Then on April the 26th, and I've always been requesting, come before the board and all that stuff. Been doing that along with my letters for the last 4.5 years. But I've never sat there and was very specific. This letter's about this. So I did a letter stating that we, the residents of Lions Grove Estates, want a meeting with the entire board of directors by and no later than May the 15th, as per the RTB Act. Of course, no response. And yeah. And before I go there, there's yeah. What I'm just getting at is it's been quite the journey. Because I need to be quiet here very quickly. Because I actually come on here to play, not to talk, but it took over. If you want to follow this story, part one is on my Facebook page, pinned to the very top. And every time I post, it'll be there's part one, there's part two, part three, blah, 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 right? So that's where it's going to be. So all of this information is going to be on there. I just went public as of Thursday night. So they get to the bottom line. They lied at a hearing to have me evicted. Right? Yeah, it's quite a story. But anyway, so I'm telling these stories, just how this unfolded. And it's magical to see it and the clarity that I see it and putting this whole thing together so I can present it in the way it so deserves to be presented. Yeah. So I'm going to stop this live and I'm going to come back and this time I'm going to just do music. Okay. Hugs and loves, everybody. Ciao.